Good morning. This morning we're going to do my Pink Floyd CD and SACD collection. So welcome, and here we go. Kicking off with the first one I'm going to show you is Pink Floyd "Wish You Were Here." This is the SACD version, booklet version, yeah, with the SACD itself inside. Very colourful book. This has got all the cards and stuff inside it, so it's a really nice set, this, and obviously got the enhanced listening power to that. Next up is the Endless River box set with a Blu-ray audio version of a few years back now, possibly the last contemporary release from Pink Floyd. I like this one. This is the Wall Live. Is There Anybody Out There? With the masks on the front there with the surrogate band. Just open up this because this is a typical sort of Pink Floyd presentation, I feel. A really quite nice booklet in there. Pictures, double CD, live Rose Clout concert. Another CD box set is Piper at the Gates of Dawn from quite a few years back now. This has got the mono version and the stereo version on 2 discs and the sorted tracks. So it's a 3-disc set. Again, this has got a fairly nice little booklet inside. And it's was a well worth addition to my collection. I haven't got all the early years boxes. I just concentrated on the so far the couple I'm interested in. That's dramatization and obfuscation, which got the tracks that I was particularly interested in getting into my collection. Then again, these are beautifully presented box sets. If you own them, they'll 4 CD collections of outtakes and works in progress, etc., etc. Loads of pictures in the booklets. A quite stunning collection, if expensive, if you bought them all. So that's the 2 I got in my collection at the present time. Eventually I will probably clean up a few more if I can, my finances run to it. Into the Discovery releases now. This is Atom Heart Mother. All these are very similar digipack sort of presentations with a CD, as is sort of the style these days, I think, for re-releases. Next up is Metal, with the classic sort of Echoes track on it, again with original sort of artwork, all sorts to try and maintain as much as possible. We've got Amagama. There's Dave sat on the chair there with an interesting sort of design. And I remember that this one sticks particularly in my mind from having the LP. Sort of the picture of all the gear laid out there was sort of this is a free panel fold out of the album, with the live album and studio albums. You'll obviously be aware if you know anything about Pink Floyd. The More soundtrack, with a particular favourite of mine, Niall's song on there. Again, various pictures and stuff in the inside of these digipack releases. Obscured by Clouds, another soundtrack. At the time they were putting out in between other albums, from a Babette Schroeder film, I believe. The Experience edition of Dark Side of the Moon. I haven't got the full mega edition. This is notable for the live concert version of Dark Side of the Moon that's on the 2nd disc. Wish You Were Here. It's going to pop up a few times, I'm afraid, folks. If it's not your favourite album, you're going to get tired of me ranting on about it, because it is mine. Although I got a few close, they do dip out of favour. Some of my albums, it's got live tracks on the 2nd disc, and particularly of note, the Wish You Were Here with Stefan Grappelli on violin is a particular favourite of mine. So that's got the classic front there, the sealed version of the album. This is Animals. This is one of my favourites as well. This got all the pictures and stuff, and it looks pretty cool. And then we get to the mega tome that is that is The Wall. This is the Experience Edition. It's got 3 CDs, and all the demos are on CD3, which I haven't listened to too many times, I must admit, but they're okay. Like, I mean, so as a collector, you're going to get all that sort of stuff in your collection. In all but name of Roger Walters. Roger Walters solo album, I think, but still an album that's grown on me. I didn't like it when I first did it. It was a bit dour for me, my taste, but perhaps getting older has something to do with this. I appreciate it more now. I think it's one of the better albums that of the later period. Momentary Lapse of Reason. Got 3 guys left. Acrimoniously sort of issues at the time between Roger and the 3 guys, which could fill a book in itself, I think, sometimes. And on that point, I will be hopefully putting together a little video of my books and Pink Floyd books and DVDs, and perhaps solo albums and stuff that I got. I haven't got loads of the solo stuff. I got interesting little stuff with Dave's and Roger's particularly. Division Bell. This is still, we're playing for the Discovery releases. This is the compilation album Foot in the Door that was released at the time. It's got a nice single CD sort of pick of again, any compilation Pink Floyd is going to be debatable because the tracks there's only 16 tracks on here, so you know, it's probably anyone's particular favourites are probably not going to be on there. This is the sort of mop up the early years CD that was released. CDs, it's a double CD to tie in with that release of the early years called Creation. And it's got a pretty good selection of tracks from those box sets. The later years is the equivalent, although not as with double CDs, so not packed as well. There's a few standout tracks for me on there. On the Turning Away is a good version. Again, not a particularly legal release. Transmissions, 67 to 68 is radio shows and stuff, and it's probably the last thing I bought actually in my collection a few months back. Another double CD, probably the last official major compilation to come out. Sort of greatest hits if you want, which is double CD, and segues quite nicely from one track to the other. It's quite a good listen on an evening. This is London 66-67 with Interstellar, Nick Spoogie. I'm sure you're all aware of that if you know anything about Pink Floyd. Another less than legal sort of release coming out of the Delicate Sound of Thunder soundtrack, sort of, because of the truncated Shine On split into 2 parts bit. A digipack with a couple of CDs in, again an official release. EP of 2 early singles, Arnold Lane, See Emily Play, Apples and Oranges, which I picked up quite a while ago now when CDs first came out. Single High Hopes on CD. This has got quite a few little bits and bobs with it, pictures and cards and stuff. The Take It Back CD single. I'm going to have to watch my pile here, it's getting up a bit big. Starting a pile. Zabriskie Point, the soundtrack with a version of few versions of Pink Floyd songs adapted for the soundtrack. The Pulse box set, as anyone who owns it will know, the light went out ages ago. It's a nice little package. It's not wearing particularly well, the box, so looking a bit frayed around the edges. So that's a bit of a concern for future. Piper at the Gates of Dawn is one of the first CD issues there, and we're on top of the original CD issues now. Saucer Full of Secrets, with this Storm Thorgerson cover, I believe, on there from Hypnosis. Relics with the updated picture. Frankly, I'm not that keen on. I prefer the original picture, which is back on the vinyl releases, thankfully. Medal. I'm sure I should use this joke before. When I was a teenager, I used to think it was a nose for some reason, but there you go. That's what life teaches you, I guess. Atom Heart Mother on the original standard CD releases, which look a bit tame now compared to some of the more colourful releases. I've got this on LP as well. The Works, I think it's an American compilation with an odd mixture in some ways. Embryo is on here, is probably but at the time was the clincher for people buying it. Animals, standard release here, which we talked about earlier. As I said, there's plenty of Wish You Were Here versions. I think it's maybe a bit on the last one of the 3 or 4 that they've got. The standard release with a slightly different cover, I suspect, due to the way it was packaged. The Final Cut standard release. Moment to Your Lapse of Reason standard release there from when it was released. Excuse me while I reach over a bit, get over this big pile that's building up. Collection of Great Dance Songs, another compilation, which some of the tracks were re-recorded by David, I believe, to get past copyright stuff. Delicate Sound of Thunder. I quite like the picture on the front of this one, the guy with the light bulbs all over him. It's a double CD. And I remember, but when I was buying a hi-fi, a guy in Curry's, I think it was at the time, tested it had arena sound on it, and you pressed the button and it was supposed to take you to a stadium. Sony system it was, and he tested it with one of these days from CD2 of this, and it sounded really good, I must admit. They're probably good salesmanship. Either he knew there was a Pink Floyd fan or he got lucky. Division Bell, interestingly, there's Braille along the side of this. It's only second album in my collection. I think the other one is The Who's Odds and Sods. It's got a bit of Braille on it. The second SACD in my collection from Pink Floyd is Dark Side of the Moon. And oh boy, am I glad I bought this, because it sounds stunning in SACD, with a nice artwork on the CD itself there. I thought I'd show you. More Discovery stuff coming up here. It's Pipe of the Gates of Dawn and Source of Real Secrets that was crapped in at the end there. First album and second album. That concludes my Pink Floyd CD collection. As I said, I'll be doing one rounding up the books, because I got quite a few books and DVDs, and obviously some of Dave's and Roger's solo work on vinyl and CD coming soon. Bear with me. Bye.